Hey there, comic friends, I'm Travis. Time for an edition of Monster Comics Reviews, where I talk about superheroes for the week. This is for the week of... No, I'm going to do it again. This is the third week in a row. Whatever week it is, it'll be down there. I don't care, I'm not going to look it up. I'm not going to pull my phone out. Anyway, let's talk comics. First up, we've got Batman Eternal, issue number 23. Catwoman on the cover there. It is a relatively Catwoman-centric issue as far as we've kind of find out a little more origin about Catwoman and who her true father supposedly is. She has a pretty important last name. We discover it seems to be they're going to attempt to sell us the reason that Catwoman is going to become the ultimate crime boss because she has the same last name as the Lion, the gangster the Lion, and that's going to inspire people to fall in line behind her and do as she says, and she'll stop the wars that are going on and all that kind of stuff is the implications. Now, hopefully there's more to it than that, whether that gets told in Batman Eternal or that gets told in the Catwoman new book. This the change in the direction of the book coming with issue, I think it's issue 35. It's in October, next month. Which place we're going to get that story at, I'm not 100% sure. But it's interesting. It's interesting. And we get some more Architect stuff in this esse. I love the artwork in this. Dustin Nguyen, always a fabulous Batman artist in my opinion. Really great to see him back doing regular work and whatnot on some of this stuff besides just the Little Gotham and whatnot. So really great as far as that goes. Otherwise, okay issue. Nothing spectacular happens in this one. Wasn't bad. It didn't have anything that felt really dumb. I didn't think. But just kind of an enjoyable Batman book. So yeah, still really digging Batman Eternal. Hawkeye issue 20. This is a completely Kate Bishop-centric issue. I really like it. I like a lot of the sentiment that's in this book. I like the style of it and that sort of thing. Something's happened to this book though. I don't know if it's the amount of time it took for these issues to come out. There's only 2 more issues left, I believe. I think this thing ends at issue 22. It lost something somewhere. I don't know if, like I said, it's the delay in it. If editorial started messing with the book, I know there's some weird kind of background static going on around this book and the creators on it and whatnot. Nominated and won Eisners and stuff like that. But it seems like Marvel was in the process of trying to get rid of the book. So not sure exactly how that all pans out and how that affects the book and stuff. It just feels like something had some sort of effect on the book. But still really great Kate Bishop story. We get some interesting background on her, some family dynamics towards the end of it. She's on her way back to New York to save Clint. We'll see how that works out. We'll see how much more we see of her. I think she's a wonderful character. I personally think that she could carry a book on her own really easy. Whether it be this kind of style of kind of beat-up detective with a heart of gold kind of a feel that this has, or if it's more along the lines of the Young Avengers version of the character, I don't care. She's just a great character. She's dynamic and interesting, and so I'd love to see more of her. Whatever happens after this whole Hawkeye thing is done and whatnot. But still, yeah, good stuff. But like I said, really odd. It feels to me like something happened. Something happened in there, and I know from kind of watching Twitter and whatnot, it feels like that there's some background stuff that happened that kind of affected this book in ways. So I'm not sure if we're actually getting the final product that Matt Fraction wanted to actually give us or not. I don't know. Wonderful book, Ms. Marvel, issue number 8. Tremendous book, one of my favorite superhero books that's out right now. The addition of Lockjaw has been absolutely fabulous in this. He fits right in. I still really love Camilla's attitude about things, her way of looking at the world. She's not going to allow most of us consider kind of a stereotypical, cynical view of of the world affect her and her way of dealing with things and her way of being a superhero and stuff. Still Come Through is really great in this issue. I'm just thrilled to death. I hope more books follow this model in a lot of ways, not necessarily mimicking it, but going through the steps that this is going through to introduce us to a new hero with new powers and trying to understand how that all works and how she fits in amongst the superhero world. So yeah, just absolutely great as far as that goes. Just tickled to death. I think this is one of those books that if you like books that you just kind of feel good about after reading, this is a book to read. Definitely should be reading it. Next up is issue 9 of Magneto. This is a March to Axis tie-in. And I understand the tie-in because, of course, it has the Red Skull in it. This is a really excellent issue. I have no idea what's going to go on with the whole the Axis thing. I'm not picking that up. I'm avoiding all the Marvel events like the plague. But this didn't feel like it affected my book. It was really cool in the fact that obviously Magneto suffered concentration camps during World War II. You know, his whole lineage of being terrorized by the Nazis and dealing with concentration camps and in this issue they kind of press on his kind of personal shame that he has carried with him for forever over the fact that he helped like dispose of bodies and that sort of stuff while he was in the camp. You know, instead of fighting back then, he just kind of he bided his time to keep himself alive, and he has shame around that, and some of that's reflected in this issue. And of course we have Red Skull, who's like the ultimate Nazi, right? I mean, he's the ultimate villain as far as that kind of thing goes. And so of course those two, even though they've both been supervillains in the past, obviously the conflict that would be between these two, just the lineage history of them is tremendous and handled really, really well in this issue. Really, really well. Very pleased with it. Still really great. It still works as this, you know, like I said, this street level Magneto story. You know, very personal. The guy, you know, bears a lot of crosses in the stories, and you know, kudos to Cullen Bunn for writing this. It's great. Just a wonderful, wonderful book. And then finally, going to end on a probably sour note. Superman Unchained number 8. One more issue of this left. Kind of tend to forget it's even out there because it's so delayed in getting the book. I'm assuming because Jim Lee, the artist, is really slow because he's got so much other stuff going on. Have no idea though officially, but this whole issue is basically a fight between him and Rafe, the more elder version of Superman. He's got all of Superman's powers, but more. He's more fine-tuned. Because he's been around so much longer than Superman has. And it's mostly Superman trying to figure out how to beat him. And he does. He inevitably does figure that out. And then they find out that there's this larger, greater threat that's going to have to be dealt with in a single issue. And Lex Luthor kind of throws himself into it towards the end of it. This hasn't been a very good story. It hasn't been put together well. There's some real inconsistencies in here. I was kind of surprised. In this, they basically say that Superman can't breathe in space. He has to hold his breath. That's news to me. And he has to hold his breath when he's underwater. My Superman comic book history is he's had no issues flying around in space and breathing. It's never been a problem. So that was all kind of curious. So you could actually suffocate Superman. It didn't occur to me that you could actually, you know, put him in space and he could run out of air. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. And talking with Carlos and some of the other Superman readers that I know, they've pretty much said, you know, look, even in the New 52, he's been shown to breathe in space and stuff like that. So I don't know what happened with editorial on catching that inconsistency, or maybe they don't see it as the inconsistency that I see it as. I don't know. I'm kind of looking to see who the editorial is here. Well, Matt Edelson is the group editor, and I think Matt Edelson is the group editor for all the Superman books, so I don't know. Strange. That is strange. At any rate, that's it for this week of superhero books. Yeah. And I will catch you next week with, I think, hardly any superhero books. 1 or 2, maybe. Anyway, till we get out of the month of September and get into October, and then we'll get back to some superhero and stuff. Anyway, have a good one, everybody. See you later.